Hi there. We want to introduce you to each puppy again and give you a little bit of in-depth information about them to assist in the selection process. Right now we've got all the boys together and we're just going to go through kind of each puppy. So this is Meadows Orange puppy, and we'll start with him because he's the only one awake right now. So here he is. They're all growing really well and doing good. With 14 boys, there is some variety and some variation from puppy to puppy, so that's just kind of what we're going to show to you. Now, Sage's puppies are almost 6 weeks old. They're 5.5 weeks old right now, so they're almost 6 weeks old, and they're going to be a little bit bigger than the rest of these pups who are a week younger and are going on to the 5-week mark. So anyway, but we will just show them to you. So here is Meadows Orange. Now Meadow is quite a small Vizsla, so we would expect her pups to be a little on the smaller side, but Orange is middle in size for her litter, but definitely towards the smaller size when considering, all of the pups instead of just Meadows puppies. So here he is. He is our orange chevron puppy for those of you who have been following along. He's growing great, doing well. He has more markings than the rest of the pups, so let's just remind you what his markings are. If we roll him back here and lift up, their fur on their chest is pretty thin at this age. Sorry, buddy, am I leaving you a kick in there? The fur on their chest is pretty thin at this age, and so their markings aren't going to be as obvious as in their movies right after they were born, so you can go back and refer to those again as a second reference, but let's just show you what they're looking like currently. So he definitely still has quite a bit of marking in the chest area, and remember he does have some here in the throat as well, and then his back paws have some definite marking as well. So he is, you have a dirty face from breakfast. He is the most marked of these pups. So he's growing great and doing good. He is maybe a little bit lighter in overall color than some of the darkest ones. I don't know if you can show kind of the whole group. There's some variety in color. They're always going to be lighter on their side than on their back. So like for instance, green here looks a lot lighter than red, but he's on his side and red's on his back. And so they're always lighter on their sides, but there is a little bit of variety in color, and there are some that are a little darker than others. So there is our orange boy, and I guess we're just going to wake someone up because they're all sleeping. Black here is dreaming and he's running in his sleep. They twitch around in their sleep a lot, and that's normal, and when they get dreaming they'll also like sometimes bark or run in their sleep, just depending what they're dreaming, so it's kind of funny. We'll just go to Yellow here since he is the next one right here by me. So he is a brother to Orange. They're both out of Meadows, but you can see Yellow is, I don't know if the camera can tell, Yellow is a little bit bigger than Orange. There's going to be some variety from pup to pup, just like there are from child to child with people, and that's not a concern. So let's show you Yellow. We know Yellow is not maybe a definite obvious boy color, but with so many boys we had to get creative. So this one is a boy, and let's show him to you. If we roll him back, he's got kind of a long marking right here, not huge, but definitely there in the chest. Let's look up here. He does have a little bit right here in the throat area. Paws are solid and solid. Now, one observation we've made about Yellow is that he seems to be a little more playful than some of the other puppies. He's just kind of bouncy and energetic and playful. All of them are. It's really hard to make comparisons because they all just take turns. They take turns being energetic. They take turns being tired. They all just take turns. So we're trying to make an overall observation of everything we've seen so far and kind of guide you in that information. And then, obviously they're still quite young. So as they grow and develop, their personalities will continue to grow and develop as well. But we're just going to try and coach you in with what we've seen so far. Yellow seems to be very playful. They're all just darling. Oh, and here is our blue puppy. We will show him to you. If we roll him back, he's got a tiny little line right here across on the chest. You may notice, I don't know if the camera can pick it up or not, they have a little bit of longer, lighter hair on their chest right now. Again, that's just a phase of development with their hair changing from their baby fur to their more grown-up fur, and that's not a concern. So let's look up here. His throat, there's nothing showing up right now, right there. And if we look at his paws, solid on front, and then on the back, there's a little bit of white, kind of right between these two center toes, just like that. So a little bit of white right there. That's our blue guy. Again, he's out of Meadow, so I would expect him to be a little bit smaller than the pups out of Sage or Willow, but he is on one of Meadow's larger ones out of her litter. So he'll probably be kind of a medium-sized dog. Let's go to the green chevron right here, because he's by us. Green chevron, bright green chevron, I should say. We've got two different greens, so the kind of neon green chevron. He is the smallest of all of the puppies. He is healthy and strong. He has been the whole time. He's always been a strong pup. He was actually the first one in his litter to walk. He just is a smaller boy. Meadow is quite a small Vizsla, and she was very tiny like this as a puppy as well. So just his genetics coming through here. Let's show him to you. I guess let's start with his tummy and stuff. If we look under here, there's a tiny bit of white right there by his cowlick, a few little white hairs. Can I look under here, please? I'm not seeing anything in the neck or throat right now. We have solid front paws, solid back. Well, there's like 2 or 3 white hairs around that toenail, but pretty much solid back paws. As far as Green's personality, I would call him a confident dog. Even though he's much smaller than his litter mates and all the rest of the puppies, that doesn't hold him back any. And he gets in there and he plays with them. He doesn't seem to be afraid or scared of new situations. So I would call him a very confident dog. He's also very friendly with people. All of these pups are. That is a Vizsla trait, to be very people-oriented. So all of them are. But he is a little bit more so because he was so small. Before his eyes opened and right after they opened, before they became more mobile, we really got in there and assisted to make sure that his small size wasn't keeping him from being able to eat. So he learned very early on that human touch meant food. And so he is probably a little more so people-oriented than the other ones. And he's just darling. He's so darling, yeah. He's so little and just the cutest little face in the world. All right, so there is our bright green chevron. Hi, Brown. Are you coming to visit? Hi, buddy. Sorry, Red's going to be the star right now, okay? Next, we're going to do... Okay, come sit by me. Next, we're going to do the red chevron, even though he's sound asleep now. So this is the red chevron, again, out of Meadow. He is another small puppy. He's not as small as Green, but again, he is... second smallest of all of the pups, and out of Meadow, again, he's just genetically small. He's been strong and healthy the whole time. He's just a smaller stature like his mom. So I would expect him to, probably have that carry through in his growth, that he'll probably always be a little bit more on the small side for a Vizsla. If we look at him, I'm not seeing anything on the chest. Sorry, are we waking you up? Right now I'm not seeing anything in the throat area. Brown wants to play. We've got solid front paws. And see which puppy's paws we're looking at here. No, not yours. And solid back paws. So that is our red chevron. Again, a little bit on the smaller side. So if you're looking for a smaller dog, either the bright green or the red, chevrons would be excellent choices for you. We'll put those two right there by each other. And let's see here. Have we done green chevron? Okay, let's do green chevron. So again, out of Meadow, but one of her bigger pups from her litter, but still I would expect them to be towards the smaller end as a glimpse of all of the puppies to choose from. And this is the dark green chevron. Let's roll him back and take a look at him. I'm not seeing anything in the chest right now. Can we look at your throat? I'm not seeing anything right there right now. Again, consult back to their early puppy videos because their fur is kind of thin right now, but I'm not seeing anything right now. Solid front paws and solid back paws. So there's not markings showing up on him at this point. He's probably going to be the smaller end of the spectrum, but not the smallest. And on these puppies, a lot of them are very middle range at this point in personality. We haven't observed, drastic signs on either end of the spectrum. So you can have dogs that are extremely energetic, or you can have some that are really calm, or most are going to fall somewhere in between. You can have dogs that are very dominant, meaning they want to be in charge, or you can have dogs that are very submissive, meaning they're willing to let someone else be in charge, or most of them are going to be somewhere in between. You can have dogs that are very confident and not afraid of anything. You can have dogs that are timid and scared of everything, or you can have them that are, most of them, somewhere in between. So most of these pups up to this point are that middle range. They're just going to be somewhere in between, which is an excellent temperament to have. It's not saying that that's bad. And really, the extremes aren't bad either. We just try and let you know so that if you're aiming for a certain temperament or a certain characteristic, you can kind of pick that. And then, like we say, as they grow and develop, their personalities are going to continue to grow and develop too. Just assess your pup and kind of know what their personality is, because that will kind of influence, how you go about training and some of those kinds of things. So there was our dark green pup. Did we get, we did orange chevron, yellow chevron, bright green, dark green, blue. We haven't done black. Where's the black chevron in all of this? There he is, hiding under that leg. Come here, black chevron. Oh, so here's Meadows again, black chevron. So he's one of the bigger ones for Meadows litter, but that'll still probably put him smaller than Sage or Willow's, kind of middle, somewhere in between, like we were saying. And we will roll him back and show you his markings. So if we look at his chest, I'm not really seeing anything there. Let's look at his throat. Hold still, buddy, I'm trying to see. I'm not seeing anything in the throat. If we look at his paws, we are solid on front. On back, he's got a highlight on this back toe as well as on this back toe. So he has a little bit of markings on his toes. And again, one of those somewhere in between pups, pretty much as far as everything. Energy, temperament, size, all of those things. He's going to kind of be, up to this point anyway, he's demonstrating himself to kind of be the middle ground. So those are Meadows boys. Again, I expect her boys to be the smaller. As a whole, her litter is going to be the smaller end of things. Let's go next to Willow's boys because I can reach more of them. So Willow's boys have the polka dotted collars. Oh, grown. I did not just wake you up, huh? Here is Willow's red. All of hers are the dot collars. So Willow's red pup. Now Willow is a very, very slender dog, very slender. If you just look at her as far as weight, you would not call her a large Vizsla, but she is very tall and long-legged and a very tall structure. So we will see if that comes out in her pups. Willow is also super, super attentive mom. So her pups get fed a lot. So even though they're the same age as Meadows pups, they are bigger. Part of that is their genetics. Their mom is a lot bigger. And then part of it is Willow doesn't do anything but feed her pups. So anyway, her pups are significantly bigger than Meadows. Here is the red pup. He's quite dark in color. If we roll him back, oh yeah, let's roll back. There's a little bit of white right there on his calic for sure. If we lift up his chin, at this point I'm not seeing anything there. He's just going to be a limp noodle for us. Front paws are solid. And back paws are solid. They're not always this calm. They all just crashed and are tired. I promise they do have energy. Anyway, so there is her red pup. Again, significantly bigger than any of Meadow's puppies.
Talk about personality.
His personality is middle ground. We're not noticing any extremes of behavior on him yet. You know, again, that's going to come out as they grow. It's really hard at this age. No one has a crystal ball. And also temperament is very, very influenced by life circumstances, by the experiences they have. So one thing we would definitely suggest is be aware of your pup as they grow and be very gentle in the way you introduce them to new experiences and try and limit anything that may be traumatic for them as they gain confidence. Because temperament is also very, very influenced by their life experiences. Use positive training, please, please, please. I can't stress how critical that is for these pups. It's best for any breed of dog, but it's critical for a Vizsla to always be gentle and use positive training techniques. Here is our green polka dot of Willow's litter. He is pretty similar in size to Red. I think maybe a little bit littler. We haven't weighed him for a couple of days. We will get weights on all of them and we will type that up so that we can, this picking process to go through this many puppies is going to take a while. We can try and keep their weights updated because those do change quickly. So we'll weigh those and type them up. He might be a little bit smaller than Red, but pretty comparable. Again, pretty dark color to his coat. If we roll him back, he's looking solid in the chest. Let's look under here, buddy boy. Move your ribbon. He's looking solid in the throat. If we look at front paws, those are solid. And if we look at back paws, those are solid. As far as observation on Green Dot Puppy, he seems to be, up to this point, a little more timid than some of the other pups. He's not as confident. So, example, what have we observed that makes me say that? When there's a new situation or a loud noise or something like that, some of the pups are curious. They're very confident. That would be a confident dog. They move towards it. They go check it out. They want to see what's going on. Okay, that would be a confident dog. Most of them just kind of, they might look or notice that something's going on, but they don't necessarily react. You know, they just kind of stay where they are doing what they're doing. Then there's something new or unknown happens and they become a little bit scared of it. They might retreat. They might go looking for mom to reassure them that things are okay. So that would be a more timid dog. Green, we have observed a little bit of that with, that if something new happens, he wants to be right by mama to make sure that she's okay with the situation, and as long as she's okay with it, he's okay with it. So he's looking for that reassurance from mom. So he's displaying a little bit of timidity. I wouldn't say it's to the point that it's going, to be a problem for him, but that, just observations of their personalities. And with him, it's really important for all of them. Vizslas as a whole are very sensitive natured, which means they can, be scared of things or be traumatized by things. So as a whole, it's very important to try and be gentle with your dog and the way they experience the world around them. But it's going to be a little bit more important probably for Green, because we are seeing just mild signs that he leans a little to the timid side. Okay, let's see here. You're not a polka dot, so you'll have to wait a minute. Let's get the brown polka dots. Come on here, buddy. Oh, I don't know if you can hear. We have quite a thunderstorm going on. But none of the pups are seeming too concerned about it right at the moment. We do have quite a bit of thunder. All right, so here is the brown dot puppy. He's got a little bit of food on his face. So again, out of Willow, brown dot. Big boy. Again, Willow's pups are big. And let's show him to you. We roll him back here. Lift up. We have very definite marking right here across the chest. right, that collarbone area. If we lift up his throat or his head, we've got a little bit right there in the throat for sure as well on him. If we check out paws, front paws are solid and back paws are definitely marked. So both back paws, the center two toes, have definite white marking on them. As far as personality, I put him, middle range again. He's going to be big, and so far his temperament and personality seems middle range. All right, we've got another dot right here. Come here, buddy. We're going to wake you up. All right. So here is our blue dot puppy, again out of Willow. He might be the smallest of Willow's pups. Again, we'll update. I'm just, going by appearance and by lifting him right at this point. I think he's probably the smallest of Willow's pups, but again, significantly bigger than Meadow's pups, okay? Here is our blue dot puppy. Let's roll him back. Take a look at him. Put those feet down. We're solid on the chest. Can you lift up? I'm not seeing anything in the throat right now. If we look, front paws, solid. Back paws, right is solid, but left has just a bit of white around that one toenail. So very lightly marked right there. Most of these pups overall are quite a deep coat color. Again, it doesn't really matter whether they're light or dark as long as they have a reddish hue to them. Vizslas have a range of color. It's totally up to your preference. Most of them have quite a deep coat color, and I would classify him again middle range. A middle range Vizsla. What am I saying when I say that? What do you have to expect? Energy for sure. That's a Vizsla trait. Very few Vizslas could ever be called lazy. Even a calm Vizsla is still going to be an energetic dog. So you can expect lots of energy out of them. You can expect lots of bonding. Vizslas are people oriented. Again, handle them gently because they are sensitive natured, and what makes them the Velcro dog and want to bond to their people is that sensitive nature. But the flip side of it is they are sensitive, and things that are traumatic can influence them more so than other breeds. So, but you can expect a people-loving dog with a good, healthy dose of energy in there. That's what we mean when we're talking about a middle range pup. All right, Orange Dot is alive. I promise. He doesn't look like it, but he's alive. Is Willow's last boy that we're going to show to you. Oh, come on, buddy. Oh, yeah, that was a groan. Definite marking right here in the chest. And a little bit across the throat. I'm so tired. Solid front paws. And a little bit, pull your foot out, a little bit of white around this one back right toe for the Orange Dot. Again, at this point, he's seeming very middle ground in temperament, personality, energy, all that kind of stuff. All right, we are going to show you Sage's pups now. Now her litter has the solid colored ribbons. So this is our solid brown, nothing on it. These pups are going to look significantly larger than these other boys. Part of that is that they're a week older, and you wouldn't think 1 week makes that much difference, but trust me, it does with puppies. These guys are growing like crazy, and a week can be a significant difference in size. But also, Sage is quite large for a female, and River is just a huge Vizsla. So I would expect her pups to be the biggest at maturity probably of any of these males to choose from. So she has two. We have solid brown, and we'll get to solid orange in a minute. I would expect those two to be the biggest at maturity. Now obviously no one has a crystal ball, but that would be my best guess. So this is our solid brown pup. Deep dark colored. If you look at him, Sage is really deep in color. She's got deep coloring to her coat and her nails and her eyes. She's just very dark. And her pups have that coloring as well. So if we roll him here, he's got a little bit of a white marking. Hold still, Betty. Right here in the chest area, right there by the calic. And I'm not seeing anything right now in the throat. If we check out his paws, he's got solid front paws and solid back paws as well. So just a little marking right there on the chest is what's showing up at this point. Again, you can consult those early puppy videos and see what markings were there when he was tiny, because you know their fur does get thinner, but for sure we've got some white right there. Great pup here. I would say that he's definitely more of a dominant and more of a confident personality. So what do I mean when I say that? Again, when something unusual or unfamiliar happens, he's going charging for it, which displays confidence. He's also quite likely to be the one that initiates the play scuffles, which is not a concern for a play scuffle. That's a very normal puppy thing. You actually want that to happen. It's how they learn to control the amount of pressure they use with their mouth, is by biting each other and learning what biting feels like. So these play scuffles between pups are not a concern, but he quite frequently initiates it, and he almost always wins it, which is displaying dominant behavior. Now that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. A lot of people hear a dominant dog and shy away from it, but it is just something, again, to know your dog's personality so you know how to handle things. A dominant pup should be well socialized with other dogs, with other people, with all kinds of situations while they're young, so that they learn to just interact correctly and not develop aggression. You want to socialize them well. Again, you need to socialize all of them. It's just critical. But with a dominant pup, that's what you're kind of looking, is to be extra good in your socialization so that they don't develop aggression towards other animals or whatever. And he's only displaying dominance with his litter mates, not with us. But that is something just to make sure that you're good in your training so that they respect that people are alpha. Now let me show you what I mean. Like, I can take him and roll him on his back just like a baby. He's not struggling at all. He is very, very willing to submit to me as a person, but when he is playing with his litter mates, he wants to be in charge and he wants to be calling the shots. So that's what I mean. He charges into an unfamiliar situation, which is a lot of confidence. That is an excellent trait to have, depending on what you're using your dog for. Every temperament and trait has its benefits, and you just need to know and understand your dog. But if you're wanting to hunt, or you're wanting your dog for a specific task that you want to train them to do, a confident dog is definitely an asset, and even a little bit of dominance in those situations can also be an asset. So that is our boy. Confident, dominant, big, handsome, dark. Again, a wonderful pup. When I say he's dominant, I'm not at all concerned about his level of dominance. It's just how he interacts with his litter mates that he's on that end of the spectrum. All right, and let's grab the last one, his brother. All right, and our last boy to show to you is the solid ribbon orange in very deep coloring, coming from Mama. I don't think he's quite as dark as brown. If I had to make a judgment call, I'd say brown is a little bit darker than orange, but again, deep coat. And let's show him to you. If we roll him back, can we see? Definite badge right here, kind of a triangle-shaped badge on the chest. And some white right there in the throat. And we are solid on the front paws. He has a little tiny bit of white on these back right toes, and then definite marking on the back left paw, on those 3 toes right there. He's not always this tired, I promise. They do have energy. But there is our orange pup for you. Again, he and brown would be my guess of the biggest of all of the pups, and bright green and red chevron would be my guess for the smallest of all of the pups, and the rest size-wise are somewhere in between. And then, we've kind of told you each pup their temperament as we've gone along. And orange is middle range on temperament as well. So we got a lot of middle range, a few that are higher energy, higher confidence, and a little bit of dominance, and then a couple, you know, that are a little more timid and want to be reassured that a situation is okay. So that's kind of the range of pups we've got going here. Quite a few to choose from. We know that can make it a little bit tricky and intimidating to make a selection when there's so many to choose from, but at the same time, it is a benefit to you as a buyer that you really have quite a few to make your selection from. And we're happy to help coach you along the way if you have further questions about any of them. We'll continue to observe more about their personalities as they continue to grow. And you know, if you want to ask if we've observed anything further, by the time it's your turn to choose, we're happy to share that information with you. We will weigh each puppy and keep updated information as far as sizes go on the website, bearing in mind that the solid orange and solid brown are a week older. So part of their size increase is age. And yeah, that's about all I can think of to tell you. They're all doing well. They're all healthy and doing great, and just growing and doing exactly what we would expect. And we're really, really pleased with them, and we're excited for them to join your families.